A high-rise or any building for that matter, absolutely fireproof. We've got to begin with that premise. But there are ways to lessen the damage when the unexpected happens. I'm going to show you the basic fire safety system. There are smoke detectors on the ceiling throughout the building in strategically located spots. Sprinklers every 15 feet. Clearly marked exits to the stairway so that the people can get out. And in the event of a fire, these doors would automatically close to keep the smoke out. The elevators would shut down. People would have to go out through the stairway.
That's the clip. Let's see what Dorothy Reed looks like today. I'm sorry I can't see you. These satellites only work one way for us.
Hey, I don't look as good as you do.
Well,
let me tell you, except for that silver hair.
Oh, that's been with me for some time now. You know, that was probably a very astute clip because, Dorothy, I don't know if you recall, one of the first stories, one of the first experiences we had together was sitting on the set at KGO during our first earthquake about a 6. It's amazing. And I looked at you and said, what do we do? Because I was from Pennsylvania, and you said, well, I'm from New York, and you finished the story.
6:04, I think it was, into the newscast. It was a Saturday evening, and all of a sudden, boom, and the lights started moving and everything, and I said, this has got to be an earthquake, and I'm talking about motorcycles or something like that.
Yeah.
So we went to a break, and you said, Dorothy, really, there's a time to end it. Do you remember that? You said when the lights started swaying, and I was just going on and on with the story thinking, I think that's an earthquake, I think that's an earthquake, but I can't be sure.
I can only say thank goodness for the producers there who at the time basically talked us through it and told us what to tell other people because we had no idea.
Yeah,
and the lights in the studio were just swinging back and forth, and it's a feeling that I'll never forget.
Listen, I got to ask, was that all on teleprompter? You always had a very good memory, but I don't remember being that good.
Yeah, some of it was. Some of it was. I cheated. You know what? Before we get on with this, though, we ought to introduce somebody else who used to be on set with us in those wild days, weatherman extraordinaire. And we got to say, eat your heart out, Pete Giddings. This is a guy who is now seen across the nation on a superstation from New York. See if you recognize this man.
Lloyd Lindsay Young in beautiful downtown Richmond. We're here with another one of our Channel 7 weather observers. We want to welcome Bill Newcomb to the Channel 7 weather observer family. How are you today, Bill?
Well, gosh, it's too soon to tell, Lloyd, but I'm working on it.
He was the best. I mean, he was a funny guy.
Hello, San Francisco. Hello!
There it goes.
There he is.
Hello!
Hello!
Yes. Hello, Vallejo!
But you know what? I got to tell everybody, this is how I woke up this morning. I heard on the telephone, hello, Ken. And I said, oh, that can only be one guy.
I said, hey, Ken, you better get ready. You're going to have heavy rain in Baltimore tonight that's moving up the East Coast. I'll tell you what,
right on
there's some real challenging weather back here. It's not boring like it is out there, you know what I mean?
Wait a minute. Can I tell a Lloyd Lindsay Young story? One night, this is the night before the big game, and of course, in San Francisco, everybody knows what that is. Lloyd arrives to do the weather, and he's got a football helmet on, and he's turned kind of this way, and it's got a Stanford logo on this side. And I thought, oh, we're going to hear this one for time immemorial. And he did half the weather, and all of a sudden he stopped, and he said halftime, and he turned this way, and he had a cow logo on this side.
Well, you know, you got to play both ends there, Ken. I tell you what, it got me a gig here in the Big Apple. I had a lot of fun with you. You know, you introduced me to every great restaurant in San Francisco, Ken. I really remember that.
Yeah, we did do a few meals out there together, and Dorothy went along on a few of those meals, as I recall.
Oh, we had great meals, great meals.
Ken, Max, Ken, I got to say hello to you. This is Cheryl Jennings.
Hi, Cheryl.
And Lloyd, hello to you.
How you doing, Cheryl?
I'm doing just great. It's great to hear both of you.
Sanchez. I just want to say hello to both of you as well, since we're doing that.
Since we're saying hello. Lloyd?
Don Sanchez. Hello, Don.
Lloyd, quick, what are you using for pointers these days?
Well, I'll tell you what, they don't let me do that back here in New York. I got some other gigs though. I'm doing all kinds of funny stuff. I'm doing my show outside half the time and just having a good time and yelling hello to the Bronx and everybody. Hey, I got to get a little plug in. I got my son in Bakersfield, California. George is on the air down there at the NBC station. I just wanted to mention that for all the viewers.
So this business is hereditary then, huh?
Yeah, we're going to be a duet someday. I think we're going to go to Channel 5 next Monday.
All right, Ken, thank you so much. Lloyd, nice to hear you. Unfortunately, we run out of time.
Happy birthday.
Good to hear from you.
Dorothy, you're on the radio here.
I'm on the radio on KBLX. right here. I couldn't leave the Bay Area. I love it. And I got to say, before we run, that those were great years. We had such great fun.
We did. It's so nice to see you.
So great to see you.
I know. Thank you. Well, coming up next, Russ Coughlin joins us with the way the past few decades here.
That answer. Now we have another fixture in Bay Area TV news with us, somebody I actually work with. Nowadays, you might recognize only the voice, but here she is when she was a young broadcasting student at San Jose State.
Good morning. I'm Valerie Dickerson, sitting in for Jim Corcoran. That fight over control of the college newspaper isn't over yet. Student Body President Jerry Spolter says he may veto the Publications Advisory Board bill just passed by Student Council.
The call for help comes in here to the response center in the security department of Mount Zion Hospital. What we'll see now is a code that automatically prints out. This code identifies the person who needs help. But more importantly, by checking this book, it lists those people in the community who live no more than 10 minutes away who are willing to come to the aid of the elderly person.
And here she is now. In the first pictures, you saw Valerie Coleman frozen in fear. My, how things have changed. CBS anchor woman.
I looked like one of, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No.
I looked like one of the Supremes, and I sounded like Minnie Mouse.
But you were very serious. That was Broadcasting 101 said always hold up your papers like this. Those, we all went through those things. A lot of things have happened since you left here. Los Angeles for a period of time. Now you're back here, and you've always said this is where you love it most.
Absolutely, this is home. As the old military dependent, I mean, this is the place that I've lived the longest. Yeah. Couldn't stand being away from. Came home once a month. It was so frequent that a lot of people said, I thought you went to Los Angeles to work at KGO-TV, but you're back here. I used to come back for special events. And then our family moved back in September, and then I commuted for 6 months.
Yeah, which is just an awful thing to have to do.
The hard way.
It's great that she's back.
Yeah. When we go out and do public speaking, we are often asked, whatever happened to? And the question I'm asked is, do you still continue your activities with signing and involvement in the community that can't hear us audibly? Because we're involved with closed captioning. So maybe you'd even want to sign a message, because there are a lot of people watching who are hearing impaired.
Yes, I am very happy to be back at home in San Francisco, and I smile all of the time. It's just a very exciting time. I celebrate all day.
Coming home.
Just again, yeah.
Great.
Yeah. And I'm delighted to see the captioning going on, because of course that's always been my heart. San Francisco, my family, and captioning and working with the hearing impaired.
It's nice for you to come back.
It's great to see you.
All right.
Thank you.
Valerie Coleman, KCBS Radio. We have to get that in. Thank you, Valerie.
Now we